Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome back to the Thinking Game Podcast.
Episode number 29. And today's podcast is a word that sounds simple, but it can mean so much. So many different ways. We're going to cut this onion today. And the word is communication. Without communication, you can't get nothing across. And it comes in many different forms.
Verbal, non-verbal,
Yep.
cues.
Yep, cues. Sometimes it's in your eyes, sometimes it's in your demeanor,
Tone of voice,
Yeah.
stance.
Yep. So, we want to preface this. Can you respectfully disagree with another person without conflict? That's what you got to ask yourself. Can you do that?
I know I can. Some people think disagreeing is something you do with your enemies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't love me. If you don't agree with me, you don't love me.
Yes, it's a versus.
And I could be
thing.
clinically insane doing some insane stuff. And because you don't agree with that, oh, you don't love me because I'm clinically insane, man. You don't love me, man.
Well,
that's crazy.
That's not what I said.
Yeah.
But disagreeing doesn't mean to be at odds.
No. Nobody 100% agrees with anybody. Never seen it. Unless you're being heavily manipulated.
Yes, or motivated. You know what I mean? Like.
So you think David Koresh was motivating people? Jim Jones, he was motivating people?
Yes, the motivation was to go to heaven really quick, or like they drunk the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
That's what they said it was Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't think cyanide tastes like Kool-Aid. I don't know how you can sell that.
I don't know, man. Try it. You know what I mean?
Try. So funny. I disagree. Totally disagree.
Some things you don't gotta try to know. That's not for me.
So, are you able to hear another person's perspective even if you do not agree with it, or can you be objective about it? So, what we mean by that is, well, you can go ahead, go. I'll let you go.
Proven. Yeah. It's you're objective.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
Right.
what are you talking for? Like, are you or listening?
Yeah.
Are you trying to learn something from somebody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With opposing, because you gotta admit you don't know everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a person's, like, say, the sky is blue.
Earth is flat.
Yeah, of the earth is flat. You gotta be willing to see, like, their research or their facts they present to you about why the earth is round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to hear the other person's argument, that's just like saying you are not willing to learn.
And when we say argument, we don't mean,
Yes.
hollering at the top of your voice, cutting each other off. Just hear the person's analysis. How about that? A debate or whatever. I know when you're younger, most of the time, you get real subjective. You put your feelings into it. But as you get older, you should develop the more objective side to be able to hear without just cutting out. No, that's it. Nope. Sometimes it could be entertaining hearing somebody, even though you completely disagree with them, but it can be totally entertaining listening to this person because they really believe in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that could be me included. Somebody could be listening to me and be like, this dude completely don't know what he's talking about. Because I'm just talking from my experience of 39 years on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes, but when you get to the point where you're not listening, you're not learning.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I disagree with him, so I can't hear anything he's saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could could be presenting facts that can, change your life, you know what I mean, and to change the way you do things, but you're not open to that.
So let me give you a perspective, right? Let's say if I tell somebody if you get a job at a state agency or with the government, a government job, a state agency. We even talked about this on older podcasts. If you get a job, they lock you in making $32,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't find another position that makes more, you're gonna be at that $32,000 until you leave or you retire, something like that. Unless you move to another position, you're not gonna get a raise. Or very few
like
jobs, if any,
1%.
you're not gonna get a raise. Yeah, you're gonna be locked in at that $32,000 a year. But some people be like, nah, that's not true. I'm telling you from my perspective, working at the state, you know, and people don't realize all of it's public. You see people that's been there for like 25 years, you know, still, you know, at that 30. Unless you making so much money on the side where it don't matter, I get it. You just want something to do, okay. But nowadays with inflation, where, you know, 10 gallons of gas may cost you $50, you know what I'm saying? And making that kind of money, $32,000, you have to be looking at a strategy. If you get in with the state, you're not going to stay at that one position, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a year or two at the max, then you're looking to do something else to move up, you know what I'm saying? But somebody argue that, though. They'll say, nah, you don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's a good job. You know what I mean? These people can't be making that. You know what I mean? Yeah, some have little growth, but the positions are capped.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean? Like, so you started.
It's set up for you to move to a different position. It's how the game is played at working at the state. Especially the big ones where it's a lot of, you can go to the website right now, they got so many positions you can look up, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
And they're not good. Some of them not gonna push you to move up. You know what I mean? They want you to fill that seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. So, and what I'm saying that is, you know, some people just would try to just find like debate just over anything, you know what I'm saying? And I used to be one of those people when I was younger, but sometimes it's good to learn how to debate. But knowing when to say, okay, enough's enough, I get it. Your point made, my point made, we good. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and
don't want to be like an infinity loop of debating where there's no there's no end to it. You just going back and forth.
And that's what you start, and with no end. That we got to define what communication is. A lot of people think communication is just talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
You say your piece, I say mine. I'm not listening to you. That's not communication. You're just talking at me, or I'm talking at you. I could be speaking a different language. Right. Effective communication is when he understands. Right. What I'm saying.
Exactly.
Thought, idea, or feeling I'm expressing to him. Right. A lot of people get that lost in the talk. I told him that. Well, did he, especially in your career, you know, I told him to do that. You know what I mean? But he doesn't know what that entails completely, that detailed process from start to finish. Yeah. Then you didn't communicate that to him.
It's like communication, right? You look at the application and say, other duties assigned. What do you think they're communicating to you? They're communicating to you that you're going to do whatever we want you to do at any time. Even though you got a specific job, but you really don't. That's entry level. That's entry level communication.
And then they will tell you, I told you that.
Yeah, it's an application.
We stated that in your
job when you say duties. That? Oh, other duties assigned right there at the end.
So other he didn't communicate that well because you didn't understand or comprehend what he said in that statement.
And then if you're a good communicator, it's like taking a steak and cutting it into strips, and then if they really can't digest it, you cut it up into cubes. Then they can eat the cubes. That's kind of how, if you're a good communicator, you can cut that stuff up. You
meet them on their level.
Yes.
So I talked to him with just steak. Just give him the whole steak. He got it. When I talked to my son, I gotta chop it up, maybe ground it up in the maybe like ground beef. You know what I mean? Chop steak. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because he can't navigate.
So. Yeah, and different forms of communication based on where you at. like I said, it's not where you from, it's where you at.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? And that's what our one of our subtopics is: understanding code for different cultures. We hear this from our mentor. We shout out to Bud Westone, man. Yeah.
Yes,
Hey
sir.
guys, what's your code? What's up, Bud? Mess with Bud, man. What's your code, guys? But the inner city code, the hood code, in the hood code, street code.
Yeah.
A lot of kids get caught up in that. Caught up in the street code. You trying to live up to a code, but living up to that code is gonna put you in jail probably, or put you in a situation where you can't get out. You get so deep in. Some people say I'm in too deep. You get so deep in that you can't get out because you're so deep living up to that code.
Yeah, and that code, and you got to think about that code in particular. Who does it serve?
Right.
Does it serve you as the individual? Does it serve the neighborhood? Does it serve your organization or gang?
Yeah.
And most of the time serves the person who didn't get caught.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? The code's telling
see-
you not to snitch, but you're the only one facing the time. You know,
And see,
the
that's
other
the
person
flip
got-
side too, right? Even if you don't get caught, if you do so much dirt to people, like I said, we know dudes like this. You be in the game so deep, when you get older, you don't know if somebody come back and get you. Like,
Yeah, you
dude,
forgot your
you
enemies.
did dirt to my brother. You think I'm not gonna come back and get you?
Yep.
You gotta think about that. Go to jail or that. You gotta think about the avenge factor, the revenge factor.
And
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
their code. Like, you
Yeah.
hit their brother, they got to hit you. That code says that. That
Yeah.
code perpetuates violence. You
Yeah.
get me, I got to get you. Then my cousin your cousin got to get me. Then
Right.
his father got to get him. And
Right.
then it's like that code perpetuates violence.
Yeah, think about violence. Like, even for regular people, even though we not street dudes, we ain't in the street, but you still got to understand the inner city code. It's like some gas stations we not gonna go to, especially at night.
Yeah.
We just not gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some gas stations in the daytime you're not gonna go to.
That's
you're
my
not gonna
common
go
sense
to.
code.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because of the code, like, you don't go through there flossing unless you want to pay the cost of getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful about that. You don't go to, it ain't around no more Highland Park, but you're not gonna drive no Lexus through Highland Park and think you're gonna drive out in one piece. You know what I'm saying? You might be walking out, but you're not gonna drive it out.
You got to experience, you know what I mean, going to Eastgate or something like that.
What's that?
Experience like going to a place maybe at night, going to see a girl, you know what I mean, from another neighborhood.
I always was kind of religious. I heard stories.
See, that's the code
yeah.
right there. Like,
yeah, that's the code. Yeah.
She is out of my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I'm from
Yeah.
Southwest. I can't go, be over there.
Yeah,
You
you're
know what I
right.
mean?
You're right. I get what you're
So,
saying. Yeah,
no,
the
I
code.
can't-
Yeah. Like, where you from? You from North Side?
Oh, look good.
Yeah. Let's meet up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's 10 that thing.
Like, you stay in Sherwood, I can come pick you up.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah.
No problem. You stay in Silver City Court? Yeah, you're gonna have to meet me down there by Union Pacific, man. You're gonna have to meet me down there by Union Pacific.
Like neutral ground.
Yeah, Pike after 8, that probably ain't the best place to be, you know what I'm
You ain't gonna
saying?
meet me on the Kroger parking lot.
Kroger not even open no more. What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah, Union
Back in
Pacific.
the day, yeah.
Yeah, meet me at the caboose in Union Pacific, man. You know what I'm saying? They got cameras and everything. You think about they say the street code. We talk about that. It's so many different things you have to think about. It's almost like a logic chart that you have to think about. Being in the city, you live in apartments. So now you not only dealing with the street code, but now you living in the projects. That's a whole nother set of codes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about snitching. You know what I'm saying? But now it seems like it's starting to change because people snitching more. But back then, that was a no-no, even for regular people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a weird thing too. Like,
And then dudes don't realize, by you sticking to the code, you do that. Now you facing time. Like I said, we know dudes that didn't even do the crime. They was just around it. And somehow their name came up. And they went to jail. and they got hit with a charge, and they just saw it.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to snitch. You know, they didn't want to put their family in danger. Or they want to put their reputation because they want to stick to the code.
They got you on the scene. 25. They got you there on the scene. Yeah. 2 people died, and you didn't see nothing.
Yeah. So you gonna snitch or you gonna stick to the code?
I use vague language. You know what I mean? I saw somebody shoot somebody else.
So you're gonna be singing like Freddie Jackson. Ride me tonight.
I don't know how many times. I can't count that high. You know what I mean?
Boy, being that singer like Anita Baker, boy.
But I was like, I don't want to see nothing.
Giving you the best that I got.
I closed my eyes. I just heard a bunch of shots.
Oh man! And then I know we ain't gonna talk about it all in one now. There's a lot to talk about, but we'll touch on it. There's a relationship code. The people don't. Here's the thing. Before we really get into this, we want to talk about this from a place we can talk about this with a person that's young, a person that's older, and a person that's our elder. So we can talk about these things without vulgarity, without the sex. We really talking about the decision making of a relationship or dating or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So, relationship.
Because it's like any other decision.
Because everybody else is talking about that part, but nobody talks about the decision part, like the thinking process.
Like choosing it, it's like choosing a relationship is like choosing a career, a car. Yeah, right. It's any other choice. It's a big.
But see, some people think it's automatic. Some people think you automatically fall in love.
Yes, and like
you think so? You think that?
Yeah,
no,
automatically.
Okay. Some people think you just fall in love.
There's a lot of factors, you know what I mean? It's a lot of things that go into compatibility, you know what I mean? The courtship process, upbringing, you know what I mean? Your mental status, genetics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's people
don't even think about it. Do you really think about genetics, though? You think people think about genetics, though?
They should. You know what I mean?
They should. Personality, common sense stuff.
Sickle cells, or you know what I mean? They got a long history of diabetes or mental illness. You don't want to addiction. 2 people wearing glasses. Your kid probably is going to wear glasses.
When you talking about getting in a relationship, you got to realize though, if you grew up in certain areas, everybody gonna deal with mental health and mental health issues.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like
unless you just totally sheltered, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like it's mental stress and like you know what I mean, like a schizophrenia.
That's different.
Your family, like that's a mental thing. You know what I mean? And if you got schizophrenia in your or bipolarism in your family, and you got it both sides. You know what I mean? You don't want to increase your risk odds of.
So what we're saying is, if guy X meet girl Y, and guy X see that girl Y is showing signs of schizophrenia, at that point, does he have to say, if I keep going, you know how you get to that point in the road where you say, okay, I see that she has schizophrenia, right? So if I keep going, am I responsible for what happened after that? Now that I know, because some people try to say they're not responsible for it. I didn't know.
They was responsible for what happens to them and the things that happen to them in that situation,
right?
Because they're taking a calculated.
We talked about that last podcast. We talked about responsibility, right, and accountability. Yeah,
accountability. And the age of accountability.
It's different if you don't know, but when you know, some people know and they ignore. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's got schizophrenia, but I love her. Yep. And then down the line, they say, well, I left her, man, because she was crazy. Dude, you told me that she had that before you fell in love or, you found that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I had a friend, Robert, you know what I mean? He was dating a girl, you know what I mean? He said she occasionally smokes crack, and she used to steal a lot.
Yeah.
She can't come back. She had a lot of bad relationships with her family. You know what I mean? And
So
he was the only one.
And he made all he knew all he found out all this before he got into
continue with the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward 2 months, stuff missing out the house. She's gone for prolonged periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Doors and windows left open. You know what I mean? Drug paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
You knew, she dabbled.
Right. And granted, I'm out the game. Like I said, we talking from my experience in our 20s, 18 to about 26.
You know what I mean?
I've been married for 11 years, but when we was younger, man, dating, I mean, it's a difference between dating and courtship. I wish young people would understand that dating and courtship. Dating is like the recycle sign. That green triangle. Recycle, reduce, reuse. In my opinion, that's what dating. You get stuck in it. You can get out of it, but you're still gonna pay a cost when you get out of it. It's still gonna be some. What can I say? Residual.
It's gonna be on your credit report.
It could be. Yeah. I guess you could look at it that way. Cause before I got married, just talking to girls, dating girls, never wanted to settle down. Like, man, please, I ain't settling down. But the thing, what happens is you date for so long and you trying to settle down, you have to revert all of that mindset that you have from dating to get into a mindset of being in a committed relationship now. Two totally different things. Dating and a committed relationship, two totally different things. You agree?
It's a process.
Yes.
So that's dating.
What's that?
You described the dating process. That's what you're
What's
dating. That's what you described, right? So what's the difference to you between dating and courtship? Because dating
courtship
looks a little different from your what.
If you take away the sex, if you just courting a woman, is you're determining is she suitable for marriage to you. Sometimes dudes give away their power and they just don't think about, is this woman suitable for marriage to me?
Okay.
Some people get married, 2 months or something like that. Like, if you can learn a person that fast, because let's be honest, we never 100% really know anybody.
Yeah,
but it takes time to know somebody enough to know if she's suitable for marriage. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
some people can hide, but they only can hide for so long. That's why you want to take your time and go through courtship, because if you try to rush it, some things you may not see, or they may, like, in a year, a year or two, unless you know that person when y'all was younger or something. But if you meet a complete stranger in like a year or something, 6 months, a year, I mean, they could, put on an Academy Award performance, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm
saying? What are things that you would do in the courtship process? Like, you know what I mean?
You can ask questions. Some things you need to watch, behavior patterns. It's common sense stuff. Personality traits.
So what's the first step? Like, you meet somebody and you want to start the courtship ritual. You ask them their name. Do you go out for lunch or dinner, or like?
I mean, go out to lunch or dinner and hang out, but you can let them know, or you just hang over. But it's all about the things that you do that's in the courtship.
That's what I'm saying.
What are the things? Right, you can go out to eat. You ask questions like, what's your idea of marriage?
Okay.
Like, what's your expectations of a husband, and what's your expectations for you as a wife? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What kind of, do you want to have kids or do you not want to have kids? You know what I'm saying? Do you believe in the Bible? What's your view on marriage? Find that is there a place that we can agree on? Like, somebody, like, you might be a 7-day Adventist, they may have a whole different viewpoint about marriage, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And, hey, you find out, at that point, you can say, okay, that's your viewpoint on marriage, that's my viewpoint on marriage. Can we come to a point in the middle, or is it you die hard, I'm die hard? And at that point, you got a choice to make. Is she suitable for marriage or is she not?
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like a logic chart, right?
Yeah.
This question, yes, keep going. This question, no, you have a choice. Keep going. Maybe, you know, it could be changed, or no, the courtship ended. And because you didn't have sex with the person, you don't feel, if you end it, it won't be that much of a crazy, you know, you won't get your wheels busted or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Your windows busted
So,
out.
that can happen on the first date, or, like the first 2 weeks of courtship. And
What's that?
You can
But
find out you're aligned, the marriage ideas or the religion ideas, like this 2 weeks or a good conversation.
But you can ask a person, they can tell you, but over time they will show you who they are too, through actions.
Okay.
Because I've always been a person, words, people saying stuff, I like to see the behavior, like when we're around each other, when a conflict happened, like if a disagreement happened, how do you handle the disagreement? You know what I'm saying? Do you get belligerent? You got to out-talk me? Do you got to prove your point? You know what I'm saying? Is it always a clash if we don't agree?
That sounds like, like just dating without sex. So is that
I mean, that's your opinion, but
no,
I mean, that's your opinion.
I'm just
No, I'm just saying that's your opinion. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think like me, I just think it's different levels to dating. To me, like it's like, people date for fun. Some people date with a purpose. Some people date without sex. You know what I mean? That's the levels of dating.
The difference is, are you looking at them to be suitable for marriage, or are you just dating?
If I'm dating with a purpose, the purpose will be marriage.
I mean, it sounds like a car salesman saying, you coming here for a purpose,
I'm coming. I'm here like
I understand
what you're saying. We're spending time with each other, going out, asking each other questions, seeing what you say is equals to your actions.
I have a question for you. Would girl Y know if man X was selling her a dream?
That goes back to what you said.
Right.
Actions speak louder than words, and you spend time with people.
Right.
Of course, in 2 months, you know what I mean, you would know. You know what I mean? You said a year, sometimes you wouldn't know. So, but that's what we're doing. We're getting to know these people. The purpose, dating with a purpose, the purpose is to get to know them. You know what I mean? To know if they're suitable for marriage. They go to the next round.
I think we're saying the same thing. But some people say when they're dating, it's like they're outside the courtship.
They're dating for fun.
Right.
I'm dating for fun with no commitment. I'm single and ready to mingle. I want to be singing. And then, like, if you're dating with purposes, the next level with that is, or maybe the first level, we're exclusively dating. I'm just dating you. We're dating for the purpose to get to know each other, to see if we mesh well together, and the potential for marriage. Like, we dating for fun. I'm dating other people. We're never going to get into a committed stage.
Who sets the tone? Let's see, we're talking about the code of a relationship. Who sets the tone of what the relationship is?
Communication, too.
Yeah, with communication, who sets the tone of the relationship, man or the woman?
I think the persons who wants it the most, right?
Because we both been there. We both been in this situation. We're in our 20s.
It's the person who wants it the most. Like, what's their motivation? So
the man...
If the woman sets a standard, this is what I'm going to accept, right? The man, if he really wants her, he can take it or leave it. You know what I mean? If he really wants her, he'll let her set the tone, and he will match her energy. Right? Or, you know what I mean?
So, what I'm saying, I get what you're saying. I'm saying, but if you're talking about dating, okay, I get it. But when you're talking about courtship, the man is supposed to find a wife, right? Virtuous woman, right? He's supposed to find a virtuous woman. So that's the filter. People don't want to talk about it. See, this is the thinking part, the filter.
Okay.
If he say, I'm courting you to see if it's suitable for marriage.
So basically, he's supposed to find her. He's on the job.
No. He's letting her know. He on the nose, right?
So he's gonna present. So she sets the tone because he's gonna present himself to her to accept him for marriage, right? So
no, because
he's gonna show her that he can provide.
No, but he's gonna tell her up front what the plan is, what the strategy, what's going on here. Instead of not saying nothing, kind of like going to a car dealership. He's like, "Yeah, you looking for a car? Yeah, come on."
Yeah, he's looking for a car. He's actively going out and looking for a car, and so she's the salesman, right?
No, he's the salesman.
But he's looking for the car. He's trying to buy something. He's looking for a wife. Right. He's hunting a wife.
But then if he sees something like, you know what, I'm not really a Honda guy. You know what I'm saying? Too many quirks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm walking away from the lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if he never drove it, he don't get that attachment to it.
Okay.
He's just looking at the car, walking around, looking under the hood and stuff like that.
I don't judge books by the cover. You know what I mean?
And see, that's the thing. All that stuff you was taught in school, not judging the book by its cover. You know, not
the contents of the character. You know what I mean? I want to know the contents of the character of the person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it starts with the cover, though.
Yeah, of course. If it's got a terrible cover,
if the book got a terrible cover, you're not even gonna pick it up.
You're not gonna get to the contents.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
but you see how we debating and we not arguing with each other.
You know I mean,
now it might be different if we talking to a woman. It could be different, but what I'm saying is, I guess what I'm trying to say is, for me learning from my 20s to my 30s, I understand that, and men, you gotta stop. You gotta understand that up front, how you start is everything. If you tell a girl, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at you as a prospect for marriage, or I'm looking at this thing from that standpoint. Instead of just saying, okay, we remember we was in our 20s, right? A girl be like, so what do you want to do? Well, anything's possible. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Hey,
am I right or am I wrong?
But is that statement a lie?
Huh?
Is that statement a lie?
Yes, totally. In your 20s?
Listen.
Totally. Totally. So you gonna tell me? Totally.
Kevin Garnett said
21. You 21 years old.
Anything was possible. It's like, you know what I mean? If I won the lottery, it would be different, you know? And she could be that lottery ticket. She could be that winning ticket.
So, I got a question for you. If a man is willing to lay down with a woman and not make a commitment, does he care about her? Especially with the risk involved, with kids and stuff like that.
Only yes, but he don't know her enough. Like, if a man
exactly, he don't know her enough.
You say if a man
is willing to lay down with a woman, does he care about it without making a commitment?
I mean, I don't.
No, yes. Which one?
I don't have to.
I want the truth.
Yeah. Yes, he can lay down with a woman without making a commitment. I'm saying,
do we care about her? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes.
He can. So. See, that's what we're gonna disagree.
No, I mean, I don't. I think he can care about her.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Because a man has to show ownership or commitment or be promised something.
No, you commit to the person. With the risk you have in the family, that's why we're in the situation we're in now, single parent homes and stuff. It's because dudes laying down with women.
I wouldn't
But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about as a majority, like as a whole. I'm not talking about you as an individual. I'm saying in general, if guy X lay down with woman Y without making a commitment to her, knowing that they could have kids, they could have a kid, does he care about her?
Yes.
I don't think so.
He can.
I don't think so. Because if you cared about it, you'll make a commitment. You'll make her your wife.
I can make a commitment, but not that kind of commitment.
That ain't no commitment then.
You know what I mean? I'm committed, to my job. For
Are
like
you?
like I say, I'm on a 12-month contract. I'm committed for the 12 months. That's a 12-month.
Now, once
contract.
again, I'm looking at this from a biblical standpoint.
No, yeah, I mean,
So, do we both believe in the Bible?
yes.
So, is there a commitment outside of marriage to a woman, if biblically speaking?
Biblically, it's all kind of commitments. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's concept. There goes that not the politician Bible. We talking about the Holy Bible.
No, but
You Nimrod.
people fall short of all kind of things. You know
They
what
do.
I mean? But yeah, no.
But you still, but just because you fall short, you still got to. You could think about what. I mean, I'm telling you,
if a man doesn't marry a woman, he don't care for her.
No. If a man lays down with a woman
okay,
and don't marry her, like commit to her,
yeah,
make that. Yeah, I don't think he care about her.
yeah.
And I've been on that side of the fence, so I'm talking from experience. I've been on that side of the fence.
Yeah, but I don't think a woman loses her value.
I'm not saying a woman loses her value. I'm saying.
But he could commit later.
Why wouldn't he just commit now? If he wouldn't lay down with her, why don't you just go ahead and make the commitment?
Because he just probably wants to lay down with her at this time.
But
and he could make, but not. But we talking about biblically. He could commit.
But biblically speaking, if you do it without getting married, that's shacking up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think shacking that was the term, but yes.
Yeah. Sex out of wedlock. Sex out of wedlock, right? Or is talking about biblical? Sex out of wedlock, right?
Yeah, and that's wrong.
So
that's biblically wrong. So you don't want to do anything that's wrong. So
no, it's just you don't want to. The chances of you having a kid laying down with a woman, and now she's having a kid, and y'all are not committed to each other, and that's why we have this single parent household situation, like an epidemic almost.
Yeah,
because the dude can just leave now. He had a kid. Like
she can just leave as adoption,
but she got the kid though.
But you know what I mean? It's like adoption of other options. But we're not talking about that. You know what I mean? And as a man, you don't commit to the woman, commit to your child. But if we do it that way, the biblical way, it would be less complicated. We wouldn't have the epidemic of single.
What I'm saying is. If you meet a man, if he will, that's the simplest way to have a filter, to know if a dude care about you or not. If he care about your values, what makes you a woman, like a respectable woman.
Mm-hmm. So if a man really values you,
he does. If he really values you,
he will wait to married to have sex with you.
Yeah. Have a family with you. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
You agree with that? You don't agree with that?
I mean, anything is possible.
There you go. All right. Move right along. To let us know what you think. Let us know what you think.
I do agree it's best.
What's that?
That way.
No, what's best? What's best? Yeah, tell me what's best.
The best possible outcome
is
to commit before laying down?
Commit how?
In a marriage commitment.
Okay. I mean, no, because I know you got that cross stairs mentality. I got to make you say the words because you like General Jessup on Few Good Men. I know you.
But
and I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been the guy who say anything's possible, and I had to court my wife. So, been on both sides of the fence. We've been together for 11 years. I love my wife. Hey, Ashley, hey, baby, how you doing? So, and I have been talking to her about this. Like, how do I talk about this? She's like, you can talk about stuff in different ways that nobody don't even really think about it like that. But I do want to say that I put that out there for my young sisters that if a man is willing to lay down with you and not make a commitment to you, knowing the fact that y'all could have a kid and leave you on stuck, does he really care about you?
Oh, and the other health problems.
Definitely.
Too, like that,
Yeah. You don't want that package.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but to each his own. Come in, let us know what you think. But
What about the men? You know what I mean? What
What's that?
about the women willing to lay down with them?
What's that?
Committing?
I mean, it's accountability on both sides.
Okay.
Bottom line, it's accountability on both sides. Like, if you know what the thing is and you go outside of it, now that's accountability. And I'm saying that because I had to deal with the accountability of it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first got married, I had to unlearn so much stuff that I did when I was single.
Yeah, that's
the accountability of me dating
Yes.
for so long and not really producing nothing, just going through the recycle, reduce, reuse, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's it takes its toll on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
mentally
does.
and emotionally. So
Yeah.
It's not all fun. You know, people talking about
It's not.
live your best life, and they talk about the fun stuff, but they don't talk about the heartache, the health problems.
And
you
see,
know what
this
I mean,
is
and
this
things
is
like that.
and this is how we can talk about this without being vulgar, without being being like negative. Here's the deal: if you don't want to be objectified, don't date. If you don't want to be on a value scale, man or woman, don't date. You understand what I'm saying about it?
Yeah, I mean,
You want to be on the scale, like, it's kind of like, if you don't want to be critiqued, kind of like you watch the NFL draft and they have a draft grade on you, you know what I'm saying? 4.3 speed, intangibles, wingspan. If you don't want to be critiqued, you don't want to be broken down, like a commodity or something like that, don't date.
Judge physically, judge financially.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like if you're a people greeter at Walmart and you're trying to date, you're gonna get judged as a people greeter at Walmart versus if you're working at a Fortune 500 company, making millions. You know what I'm saying?
They'd adjust your value on that scale.
Yes.
To some people. And that's
dating is vain though, man. It's a vain place, man. Dating is vain, man. It's not fair. It's definitely not fair.
But
you think dating is fair?
No, but there's life.
There's what?
No, there's life. You know what I mean? That's going for
Right,
job.
exactly. But some people think that dating should be like a fair plane or something like that. It's not.
Like if you got a personality, you can't show that. And if you can't get a date.
If you feel entitled, don't date. If you're an entitled person, don't date. If you're an unhealthy competitive person, don't date. Definitely don't date.
We're just saying it's a lot of things. It's just not all fun. It's really fun sometimes, and then it's really it's got a highs and lows, right?
Right, because everybody don't make it out clean. Everybody don't make it out of dating clean. So you're gonna have some kind of scarring.
Yeah.
You got some kind of scarring mentally, or physically, or emotionally when you get into dating. You have to understand that dating is like that recycle. It's like an infinity loop, man, and you have to try not to get stuck in it.
It can affect your mental health, your self-esteem.
Like we know dudes who dated, and when they stopped dating, now you got 11 kids. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. If you lay down with a woman and not commit to her, that's the downside. You got 11 kids by 8 women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know what I mean. And even it's hard either way. If you commit, it will probably be less hard. You know what I mean? You don't know if you are going to want that woman is going to want you in 11 years. You know what I mean? People change and grow.
That's true.
But, you know what I mean? I think it's a reduced risk.
What did you build your relationship on, though? That's a whole nother thing. That's why I don't want to get a rabbit hole, man.
Hindsight is 50-50, right? Because you could have said, like in college, if I would have majored in computers or I got that job at Google, versus being a lawyer, I would be in a different situation. What did I base that decision on picking my major? You can do that with your marriage. You can do that with your career. You can do that with the friends you choose. But, because hindsight is 20/20.
No, but foundation, though. I'm saying like a foundation, like something you both can agree on.
No, if you build if you build the foundation, like you said, you choose your wife, you choose your job, and a good moral foundation, and then 10, 11 years later, it don't work out. You can look back in the hindsight and say, oh, if I would have did this, it wouldn't work. If I would have based my, you know what I mean? But sometimes stuff don't work. Sometimes you change careers. You know what I mean? You're not going to make the perfect decisions with your career, with your kids, with your husband, with your wife.
You know what I think?
Living is growing, adapting, gaining skills,
Right.
and moving on to the next.
I think that goes to the code. We talk about inner city code. Living in the inner city, we always see conflict, but when do we ever see a lot of resolution though? And
Yes.
that's another thing. If you can't resolve stuff, if you always holding grudges or don't want to forgive, definitely you don't want to get married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with another person. Even dating. Dating is not fair. If you're not committed to a dude and you date a guy and you think he's just talking to you, it could be that, or he could be talking to you, he could be talking to somebody else too. He's not committed to you. But sometimes you have these weird unrealistic expectations. Don't date.
And that you create in your own head.
Yeah,
Sometimes the
date.
other person doesn't give that. She didn't give you no indication that she wanted this or that,
Right.
and you fabricate that all in your head.
Right.
And people tell you how to start things, right? And
Right.
they tell you how to feel what you feel.
Right.
But they don't teach you resolution after the conflict. Moving
'cause all you
on
see is
with
conflict,
your
yeah.
life.
Right.
Together with that person, with that organization, or apart.
Right.
You know what I mean? People don't know how to deal separated. They lose their job. They don't know how to deal with that.
Right.
They don't know how to deal with conflict, and they keep their job and they keep their relationship, but they gotta work with these people. You gotta work with your wife. You gotta work with your husband after a big conflict where people were hurt and feelings were hurt, and people don't know how to do that.
I guess like comment, let us know if you would like to hear us talk more about these things from a clean, non-vulgar, educational standpoint that we can talk to our kids, our spouses, youth, middle age, all ages about. Because, you hear all the vulgarness and all this stuff, but somebody got to talk about it in a positive way. Because where's the positivity at, I guess I want to say. Let us know. We can make all kind of subjects on this and not, and it be clean, that you can talk to this with older people about, your parents about. That's kind of what we trying to make here. So, but this is just a snippet of it, because it's a rabbit hole. We could talk about this all day long.
And see, we don't agree. It's conflicting. You know what I mean?
Definitely we don't agree.
Have different takes on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then what I can say, look at a person. I can tell you my experience from 18 to about 26, 27 of dating. Like, my viewpoint on dating was totally different than his viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? My personality is totally different from his personality. You know what I'm saying? Two totally different personalities. We got to the same point, but different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Driving different cars.
Some people get there driving the postal truck, and some people get there driving the Corvette. You know what I'm saying? It depends on your personality. You know what I'm saying? Come and let us know what you think, and we'll come up with some topics that's clean, nothing crazy. Because some of these topics need to be talked about as far as relationships, dealing with people and dating, that people don't really think about, like the accountability of dating. Yep. Who you talk to in dating. Like, is love automatic? I don't think it's automatic. I think you need to look at some factors before you fall in love. You need to think about who you're dealing with before you fall in love. Just my opinion. Let us know what you think, and we'll throw some of that in. When we talk
is
about
love
this.
a choice?
Huh?
Is love a choice?
Yes.
It's a choice. Okay.
Yes.
You don't just fall.
Because accountability come with it. When you love somebody, you got to make sure you're accountable. Because if it's not a choice, that's why people bail out.
Yeah, because it just happened. It was an accident. You know what I mean? Love is an action word.
Yeah, so. But yeah, we're going to look at now the corporate code. That's our next topic, corporate code. And there is a code. Every company has a code, whether you want to believe it or not. Unreal, man. Sometimes the code is based on the demographic numbers, apples, oranges, you know what I'm saying, bananas, pineapples, how many. If it's more apples, it's going to be an apple code, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's more bananas, it's going to be a banana code. If it's more pineapples, it's going to be a pineapple code, you know what I'm saying?
And that's language.
Yes.
Professional language.
Yes.
The hierarchy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? socially, how you interact with, this and that, how the apples interact with apples, the oranges interact with oranges, you know what I mean? Transitioning from being an apple to an orange, you know what I mean? That is a code in a way, a code of conduct, basically.
Right. Yeah.
What you should follow.
It could be a dress code.
Yes.
You work some places, they like this business casual, button-down shirt, khakis. You may work, like say, working at a retail store, they probably just jeans, t-shirts, some tennis shoes. You better have some comfortable tennis shoes on. Because you're going to have to do that cold. You're going to be up on that concrete floor all day. So
yeah, and then some of this stuff is unwritten, really, in certain organizations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you got that unwritten code, like, you don't want to go over there, man. They kind of crazy over there, man. So you don't want to hang out over there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about
they micromanage over there, yeah. They go over there, man. Anyway. So, yeah.
You don't talk to the red shirts.
Yeah, you
don't we're black shirts.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to think of some more codes. Like, you think about, like, say, that mid management level code, you know what I'm saying? Like, managers, they have a code. Are they going to...
Don't eat lunch with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Or they try to, like, say if you work in a call center, they're going to drive you, man, like an 18-wheeler, man. They're going to try to get all 18 gears out of you, man. Working in a call center. Like they're driving up numbers, you know what I'm saying? Say you work in sales, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta, take a break or put in a special code on your phone or your computer to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Could you, your man, some of you, have the freedom to turn in reports, projects, you can do it from home.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, you know what I mean, having to officially mark down, log out, and put monitor your bathroom break? Like, you said you went to take a number one, you know what I mean, and it took you 7 minutes.
Yeah.
We don't allow 7 minutes for number ones. You can go take a number one anytime you want to, but 7 minutes is a little steep for a number one. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Could you imagine be in a meet with 3 other adults?
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean, you took 7 minutes because you had a UTI and you gotta disclose it?
Yeah. I know.
To your supervisor? And a director? Come on, man.
When I worked in IT at this place, there's a call center. We had to support a call center because they had computers and stuff they had to use for their phones and queues and stuff. Every morning, around between 8 and 8:45, they would come in and we would get tickets and say, my computer froze up, my computer froze up, my computer froze up. Now, I'm seeing a trend in my head. I'm already seeing it. Yeah. The manager was like, man, why are we getting all these tickets around this time? And then after that, it just started to taper off. I know what they're doing. I know the code, what they doing. That's the code between them. That's the little inner code they have. Yeah. So what they do is they come in late, but they try to hurry up and get at their desk, so they have to be logged in by a certain time, or they late. So instead of saying, I came in late, they say my computer froze up. So they kind of buy them time because they know we can't just come there because they got to put in a ticket, and then it goes to the ticket queue, and then it gets to us. Then we have to, walk to the area or whatever. So they give them time to kind of come in. They can come in a little bit late, come in at 8:05. And they can say, I was here at 8.
I've been trying to log in since 8.
My computer froze up. So let me just turn it off and put in a ticket. And see, that's a code. And I mean, you know the game. You know what I'm saying? People be running games and stuff like that. You kind of know that. Then you know the managers, man. You go working in IT, you see all this stuff. You see the managers just driving people, man. They just, why you right on the phone? You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You need to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Yeah, and that's just the real story that happened when I was working in the call center. You know what I mean?
I used to do that to
call exactly. Whatever you got to do because the time is so precise. You know what I mean? The dude had to the dude was.
Some people are clever though. Some people are
keep
clever.
Doing the bathroom because he had a sexual STD situation. It was burning. You know what I mean? It was leaking, and he was trying to get himself together in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
He couldn't take off.
You gotta you can take off work like 3 days for, you know what I mean, STD, like, you know what I mean, it's not that serious, I guess, you know what I mean, but I think it was leaking and it was burning, you know what I mean, he was just trying to adjust himself, you know, get the odor down, and so he had to admit that in a little meeting, you know what I mean, or a conversation. Yeah. If you keep doing this, we're gonna have to have a conversation. You took like 6 breaks, you know, in the first half of the day. You know, what's going on? We can't have that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm, you know, dealing with something.
She said, have you ever saw Mississippi Burning?
You know what I mean? When you pull out like some like pad diaper thing and it's got a weird discharge on it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and they can't fire you for, you know what I mean, having a medical thing.
Actually, they can.
I mean, I don't know.
Here's the deal. See, here's another code. We just talking about unwritten code, right?
Yeah.
At will. And people in Little Rock, at will. They can fire you for anything, anytime, without reason. They can exercise that. Can you sue them? You probably can. The thing is, do you have the financial backing to endure the race? Yeah. That's what they do. That's the code. That's the code they don't tell you about. You can sue us for discrimination, but do you have the financial resources to endure the race? Yeah, because we're going to motion you so many times, and you're going to have to pay your lawyer so many times to go in there.
Yeah, that's a big
Can you afford that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because like that person, you know what I mean, they had tell
I mean, you really gotta have
personal information.
You gotta have tough evidence to make them settle, and they'll settle.
Yeah,
but you ain't go to trial. Yeah,
they was ashamed of that. Like, you know what I mean? In office, people talk.
Oh man, yep.
You know what I mean? Do. Like, you had to tell 3 people you had STD, and that's why. You know what I mean? You were.
I mean, they know why you got it. I mean,
you know what I mean? Not why, but you know what I mean? Why you were taking, you know, breaks that was, you know. Because you were uncomfortable, you know.
And another code is executive level, right? Mm-hmm. You work at big or small company. Most of the time you work at a big company, you don't really see executive people. They kind of office back off in the corner and looking out on the, you know, looking out the window. Some places, but when you deal with them, some of them are, what am I trying to say? Let me make sure I say this right. They're not as easy to talk to.
Or accessible.
Yeah, accessible. And some of them are. Some of them are cool. They're like talking to how me and you talking, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that made me say, I got to level up, because the ones that you could actually talk to, and they say, man, why are you not where I'm at? They used to ask me that question.
Or is least trying to be.
Yeah.
You're not like.
And I say, huh?
You're not going to school?
Yeah.
No, and not what?
I said, I'm not an apple. I'm not an apple. I'm a pineapple. I didn't know pineapples could be.
I used to be a pineapple.
You don't look like a pineapple.
I used to be.
Kind of like Bloodsport. I was trained by Tanaka. You don't look like Tanaka. You don't look like Tanaka. Show us the death touch. But nah, they say that, and it's like, man, you got to go to school, man. I was like, huh? I thought that was a myth. Like, nah, man. But I'm learning that your skill set, having skill set, communication, and what am I looking for? And education can get you in places. You got to have all 3 of them got to intersect, and you can kind of. It's almost like skill set to open that door. It's like, wait a minute, this dude got the skill set. Let's give him a look. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that with my own 2 eyes. So, but another thing about management, I think, is when they do power plays. That's another code right there. Yeah. When the management pull a power play on you. They send out a company-wide email that says that can't nobody download this, can't nobody do this, but then the executive come in and call you in there and say, I need you to download this. Well, they said we can't do that. Did I ask you that? You think I didn't see the email? I'm the executive, and I'm telling you, I need you to download this. Now, you can be rigid, you can be, you know, go by the book if you want to and see what's going to happen. But the power play is executive. It's like, do you really tell them no? You know what I'm saying?
Am I going to get fired if I do it? And I'm going to get fired if I don't
Most of the time, if you tell your manager, you know, executive X said, and download this, even though they say don't download, they'll say, no, that's fine. Go ahead and do that.
He said that?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and do that. So, we're talking about codes, right? When you think about it, I'm trying to tell the youth, so many codes, you can't mesh inner city code with corporate code.
Yeah.
You know, some stuff you can't mesh. Now, it's some stuff that kind of do mesh, like
Not parallel.
taking advantage. Like in city code, people try to take advantage of you. If they think they can take advantage of you, they'll take advantage. Like street code, like I say, most dudes try to run game on you. Like, you know, can you give me $10? You know, I got a kid at St. Jude's. It's like, dude, you live in apartments with me. You don't have any kids. What are you talking about? But in the corporate code, you know, hey, you know, we can hire you, but we can only afford, you know, $40,000, but the job really pays $60,000. If you need a job and you don't know, you'll take it, cause you don't know. But then when you get in there, oh man, they gave you that, man. Man, you know this job, man, they pay like 55, 60, man, and you took 40, man. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know.
And then you going back to
they knew. Then the thing is, can you prove that they knew? They just took advantage of you. And even if you do, what are you gonna say? Because you already signed it. And see, that's the code. That's another code. You know, they got you. You can either be subjective and emotional about it, or you can be objective. It's a business. All I just need is the experience. You know what I'm saying? You want to play that game? You want to play Battleship? I got some codes I can put in too. They can sink your ass. But this one thing about you too, man. You cannot take things personal in the corporate world, man. It'll drive you crazy. Some of the stuff, you know, people experience and go through. You have to look at it from a different angle, or it will drive you up the wall. I guarantee it will drive you up the wall. You have to learn how to learn. Even through the negative stuff like that, you got to still know how to learn from it and learn how to move better and learn how to be efficient, you know what I'm saying? And not let it,
and we're talking about learning.
Not turn sour.
We're not telling you, when we talking about learn and change and adapt, it's some stuff about your code that's you.
Right.
That you will
right.
not compromise, that you will never change. That's you. Or, you know, you'll think about it every day.
Right.
If you betray your own code for monetary gain or for anything.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? You got to adapt out of old ways.
You do. Modify your code. Sometimes you got to modify your code.
Not the big stuff, but little stuff.
Sometimes the big stuff too.
If those things are detrimental to your growth or harmful to you or others.
Right. Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to be yourself, stick to yourself, but, you know, still grow. Right. You know what I mean? You know,
look at the result. All you got to do is look at the results. If you mess up, maybe there's something that you need to modify now. Mm-hmm. And if you're successful, okay, I can keep that code because it's working. But if it's a mistake or error, because we all make mistakes, nobody's perfect. Now you get a chance to modify that code because you learn more from your losses than you do your wins. Because if all you do is win, you're not going to learn that. You can say, I'm winning. What do I need to learn? Mm-hmm. But if you lose, you're like, okay, where did I mess up at? Let's go back and watch the game film. Where did I mess up at? Where can I do better? And that's the thing, you know, really about dating is you're supposed to learn about yourself, not about the other person. It's about you. Yeah, why did you fail? Why did the relationship fail? And if you look at the other person all the time instead of looking at you, what could you have done better? You know what I'm saying?
And that'll change you too. You know, if you looking and not focusing on yourself and learning and growing or developing skills, you look at other people and that'll change you. Yeah. Right? You take a little bit of every person you deal with. So you just like some rainbow colored calico cat. You know what I mean? So, and you don't really know your true color.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta watch that, you know what I mean, with modifying your code.
And probably the last code, this one's a little tough too, is the age code. This is something I had to learn, man, growing up, man, because growing up around my grandma in the country in Sweet Home, shout out to Sweet Home, Arkansas, you had to learn how to, it's the young code, it's the middle-aged, older code, then it's the senior code, right? I had to learn how to communicate with my grandma and people her age. I had to learn how to communicate with my mom, and I had to learn how to communicate with my peers. One thing in the country, older people used to always tell you is don't talk to me like I'm your friend. I'm not your friend. So now, the way that I communicate with them is a whole nother way. I have to figure out how do I articulate what I'm trying to say to them and not make them think that I'm their friend. And my wife always tell me that she be talking to older people, talking to y'all. How do you make an older person laugh? But I grew up around older people with ethics and stuff like that. You got to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You don't call them by their first name or their nickname. You know what I'm saying? My grandma had a friend named Peaches. I accidentally called her Peaches, and I got in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? Miss Thompson. She's like, you don't call her Peaches, you call her Miss Thompson. You know what I'm saying? You don't call her Peaches. You don't even know what she got the nickname from. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it funny. You don't even know why they call her that. It could be something crazy why they call her Peaches. You know what I'm saying?
She can get charged by you even calling her that.
And she got hot too. She was mad, boy. And my grandma like, nah, baby, don't do that. So, but learning how to talk to them, learning how to make them laugh, learning how to make my mom laugh, then making my boys laugh, is like give you a whole nother set of skills. So now you can kind of communicate with different age groups because the communication changed with age group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and one thing could just be informative or for clarification can get you in real trouble. How do you say you don't understand something? You can't say what to older people.
No.
Like, bring me this. What? And now you're in trouble. Huh? If you can you can hear. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to be listening and say ma'am or sir to anything.
You got to say something's crazy, but you can't say that somebody's wrong that's older, though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how is it, like, is it not weird that this person is out there drinking White House rolls at 3 o'clock in the morning in front of a barrel lighting a fire? Is that not weird? You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, man, he's wrong, he shouldn't be doing that. Boy. You'll get a whooping. You might arrest somebody get hit in the head for that.
Boy.
But yeah, man, learning how to communicate, man, with
navigate
older people. Navigate that age code.
Through communication, for your safety.
It's just like when we was talking about, like, when I was asking you if a man lay down with a woman without committing to her, you got this single parent household situation, right? And I grew up in a single parent household, so I mean, here's the deal: you got that older younger situation. You have to be careful about how you move, especially as parents. I know with my kids, because they're looking at me. So if I don't move right, or if I do crazy stuff, my son he's probably gonna pick up on that.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna end up doing it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, a lot of I gotta be careful. I'm trying to be how am I gonna phrase this? The accountability of not talking to the kids. I'm talking from a kid perspective. We in a weird space. We like that middle age. We're like that uncle, and we like in the middle of older and younger. We've been younger and we're moving in the middle to being older. But being accountable, not saying that you're right or wrong, but being able to talk to your kids about choices and decisions. Instead of, you can't assume that a kid is just going to pick it up and run with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta assume they're gonna make the wrong choice first.
Yes. And having that open line of communication, like what this is about, open line of communication is important, because everything, back in the day, when we was 85, 86, we didn't have social media and stuff like that. The world coming at us so fast. Now you have to talk to your kids about these things because the world is coming at them so much faster. Yeah. I mean, just a kid being on Facebook for 2 months, man, you got to make sure that, they may learn some crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? Versus back then, you may see his stuff here and there flashing.
I've seen some crazy stuff as a kid, so.
But you didn't see, like, it wasn't coming at you faster like social media, though. Like, you can do it from your phone, not even walk out the house and see crazy stuff.
It was 1 or 2 things, you know what I mean? Not everything. Social media, you can see everything.
It's like coming down a pipe, boy, grease lightning, man. Woo!
But that, it's a healthy balance, covering your kid, but also they gotta live in this world, and
They do.
things of this world are in this world. So you gotta teach them, and teach them how to make informed decisions. You know what I mean? Be safe, coping skills, like acknowledgement, like knowing, letting them express themselves. You know what I mean? And things like that.
This is what I'm saying right here, right? Let me see if I can put this in a couple sentences. If you know, especially now, if you know you're not in the best environment to raise kids, don't put yourself in the position to where you can have kids and be in that kind of situation where you know you're not in the best situation to raise and nurture kids. You see what I'm saying?
Safety, effectively, yes.
Like if you live, you live in it ain't even apartment. Or some apartments that ain't in existence no more because I don't want to downgrade them apartments.
But you in the low income projects. You know
yes,
what I mean?
in low income projects.
You on like maybe you can't financially support yourself
Right.
barely.
Yeah.
Don't bring kids into the situation.
Man.
You
Boy.
can, just because you can do something don't mean it's to be done.
Right.
Or don't mean it's recommended. Your mama did it, she struggled.
Right.
Don't put yourself in a struggle situation if you can't help it. You know what I mean? But some stuff is like a choice.
Right.
It really should be a monetary minimum to have a child. You know what I mean? Because it takes mental and emotional maturity to have a child, but it ain't.
And see, that's the thing I was thinking about with the committed part. Dude lay down with a woman, she have a kid, and then he leave her, and now she living in low income housing because that's all she can afford. And now the kid's growing up.
You put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, it's accountability on both sides. But most people be like, it's that person's fault or it's that person's fault. No, it's a two-part accountability.
But the thing is, most humans can make a child. You put two of them together, no matter what their mental faculties are, and they decision making is flawed. They can get together and they can reproduce like rabbits.
And that's what I'm saying. The code, you have to have a code like to slow down and think about what you're doing before you turn into a rabbit. That's what I'm saying.
And if you have a normal thought process and you see somebody that doesn't have a very good decision making, you don't want to have a child by that. They already have 10 kids. You know what I mean? You gonna put yourself in a situation like that. You gotta use good judgment. Yeah.
So next topic, we're talking about code switching. What is code switching? Is there a definition for code switching? Is this like a term that you just throwing around?
I mean, I imagine it's self-explanatory, but I imagine it's a definition to it.
So, what do you think about code switching? Like if you go from street code to corporate code? Or like age code, like being able to talk to your grandma, being able to talk to your mom, then being able to talk to your peers. It's like saying one message, but you got to say it 3 different ways, almost.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
You tell me, like, is that being yourself or is that adjusting to fit in?
And see, that's one of the things. That's what I was gonna say. Is code switching a bad thing? It depends on the person. It actually could be a skill set.
Yeah, is it a bad thing? When it's used properly, is it good? You know what I mean?
See, it depends on who you talk to though. Because a person that's in the street code, be like, nah, man, you gotta stick to the streets.
You know what
I'm saying? Corporate code, like say, some stuff from different codes can be. Some of it can be entertaining, but not all of it though. Like different little tactics and stuff like that. Like,
so I'm coming at you like this. Like I'm raising a son,
right.
And I myself gotta be in the corporate environment, really low and high, right? So I gotta deal with doctors, and I also deal with people on the patient care side or on the ground floor, on the front line, and patients.
Right.
So maybe when I talk to doctors, I gotta be a little bit more medically accurate, and then I gotta break it down for our
cut
patience,
the steak up. You got to cut the steak up, right?
Yeah, and I got to break it down for the patients. I got to describe the illness or the symptoms.
Sometimes you got to be downright frank. The
what I
doctor
mean?
tell you that this is terminal, and
then like some people are slower than that, and so I got to break that down.
You want to live or die? You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I gotta navigate that, and I got a kid that maybe deals with hood kids in the in the neighborhood over his aunt's house,
right?
And then he deals with uppity kids over his mom's house, and then he deals with a certain type of kid at school, and they have to deal with the teachers, right? So what do I teach him? Do I start teaching him how to navigate that and code switch, or do I tell him to be his most genuine self? And then
you can make that part of your code.
You know what I mean? Yeah, just be his genuine self.
Is that called being sophisticated? Is that called being sophisticated?
You know, I mean, like that's what I'm, asking you. You know what I mean? Is it a skill? Like, what do you think? That's what I think. I'm teaching him how to be himself first.
I think from our experience growing up, I think being rigid can put you in some really dark, isolated situations. Not knowing how to do it. If you want to be in the corporate world and you want to get at a high level, you're going to have to learn how to do that. It's not a bad thing to code switch, just because if you're doing it to be malicious and backstabbing, of course it's a bad thing. But if you're doing it to further your career, I mean, of course you can't go into the corporate world, talking like you 21 Savage or something, you know what I'm saying? Can't go in there talking like you Suge Knight.
But like, let's say, is it good if it causes you not to be yourself? You know what I mean? You are
but what is yourself,
acting,
though?
You know what I mean? Or acting like you put on a different voice. You put on the things that don't represent you. You know what I mean? Is that a good
Well, here's the thing. What is yourself? You got to know what yourself is. You got to define what yourself is. Like.
But what if yourself is that maybe that hood person that really can't communicate? Like, so this is just the way you talk. So is that wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. You have to take what comes with it, though.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to take what comes with it.
Like, okay, explain that to me. Like, what?
Like, if you from the hood and you can't, I used to be like that. I'm not a street guy, but used to talk like that. If you don't understand how to talk around people that's digestible for everybody, you're not going to make it that far. It's only so far. You're going to have a cap that you're going to get to. You're going to get there real fast.
So,
like, you can't, if you work in the corporate space, you try to get to, like, mid-management level, but you sending emails and you sounding like, what's that dude from Florida? What's that dude's name? Huh?
Trick Daddy?
No, not Trick Daddy. The dude now with the weird dreads or whatever. Kodak Black. Oh, yeah. You send an email, but you sound like Kodak Black. Hey, yeah, riding that dump. You can't send no email saying that, man. You know what I'm saying? You think that's gonna work?
No. But what you're saying, be yourself, but learn how to effectively communicate in different environments.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
So learn how to articulate.
Yes. I had to learn
articulation.
That. Still learning that, yeah.
Okay. I can.
Because working in IT.
Like some people, code switching gets labeled as, you are some kind of chameleon. You're changing your personality to fit in around other people, and that's not what we're saying.
So let me make it simple for you.
And that's not what he's saying.
Right, and let me make it simple for you. If somebody say that, do you want to make over 40,000? You want to make upwards? Do you want to get past 50,000 a year? Guess what? You probably gonna have to modify your code. You agree?
I think growth and development and gaining skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But some people say you'll be a chameleon though.
No.
Because you got people that say I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna always be myself. I'm not gonna change.
And that's right. Right.
It just depends on who you are. You just take what comes with. But are you going to add to that, or is it going to stay right there?
See, that's the question. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Increasing your skills.
Because I used to be one of those, I ain't gonna never change. I'm just going to always be Mike. But I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't make any changes and modifications and adjustments.
So we're talking about, we was talking about changing your code.
Yeah.
Codes and seeing your core values.
Right.
What makes you what you believe in.
Right.
And now we're talking about code is just communication, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And being able to express yourself or ideas and thoughts to a people in different environments.
Right. It's just like this last point. Can you learn another code without being subjective or personally offended?
Yes, you can. But I think my message, it's maybe harder. Be you. Don't change. But it's
how do you grow if you don't change?
Don't change your core values or beliefs, right? You can still be you, but learn how to effectively communicate your ideas without changing the core person you are.
So let me ask you this: Is this on my thing? Can you take in information and change or modify your code objectively? Like, what if you find out your core code may not be conducive to what you're trying to get to a success?
Example, if somebody would disrespect me, I'm going to check them on site.
Right.
Can you do that? Can you do that? Do you need to adjust it? Can you do that?
You can, but
you know what I mean?
Think we'll come with it.
Right. So, can you communicate that effectively? Right. What does that look like in a corporate setting? That's
what I'm saying.
In the hood setting, where you adopted that code,
right,
that means punching somebody in the face, right?
Right.
But you know what I mean. Maybe you still have that code. That's your value. Maybe you could because
that's assault and battery in the corporate world.
Yeah. Corporate world, you can defend yourself verbally without disrespect. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. It's harder. Stand your ground. Use words. You use your words without being disrespectful.
You know what they're gonna call you? They're gonna say you're combative.
No, without being disrespectful or aggressive. You know how to.
No matter what you do, you could be yourself. I understand that.
I mean, I'm not talking about retaliation.
No, I'm not talking about retaliation.
And we talked about
defending yourself.
No, we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you in a situation where people will bully you in the corporate setting too,
they will.
You gotta professionally, respectively stand your ground.
Right, but what I'm saying is, even when standing your ground, you still can leave or come off. You cannot control what another person interprets what you're doing. You have to stand on your core value. Then when you say, I'm going to stand on it.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison.
Because when you do that, we've seen people do that. They stand their ground, but it's consequences that come behind it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you got to look, I mean, that can be another conversation, but you have to set healthy boundaries, even at work.
Right.
You don't have to be like they're saying, learn how to communicate effectively without being disrespectful. But some people are going to take the wrong way. Mm-hmm. If they can't victimize you, they will get offended.
Yeah.
You didn't let them punk you. Now they mad at you.
So I got a thought for you, right? What if you know the code that they run? You're like, I know he's going to try to victimize me. I know that outside of this job, he's using this as a shield. So I'm not going to respond to this because it's not worth my time. If he feel like he won, if he got to feel like he win, then okay, you got it.
That's another situation like where you let him rope a dope.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like verbal and professional rope a dope.
Right.
You let him punch yourself out. You killing me. You killing me. Oh no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let him win.
Right.
That's fine. But if you're called like they're pushing your values, whatever that may look like. Mm-hmm. And you feel like they're pressing your the boundary that you cannot, that you as a person.
Yeah.
Now some stuff you can let go if it's that thing, because you ain't gotta let everything go, but you don't have to go nuclear. You know what I mean?
Well, see, some people don't understand that.
But that's what we're talking.
There.
But like that's what we're talking about. Now, if we go any further, we're going to be talking on specifics.
Some people core values to go nuclear though.
Yeah, I know.
But you saying be yourself. But you saying be yourself.
And I am.
Yeah.
And I'm standing on that.
Right, that's
myself.
fine.
You know what
Totally
I mean? No. But and like I say,
no, you just say you stand on that, then you say no. That's kind of confusing.
No, because I'm gonna stop that. That train of thought.
But see, with nuclear codes, once you press a button, most time it's no fuse. You know, in the cartoon, a lot of fuse, and they go to the dynamite. Some people just have a stick and they go click.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we spoke earlier about like very unproductive, harmful things in your code.
Right.
You gotta get like, you know, we are supposed to be getting rid of those. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like the violence and things like that.
Definitely.
But adjusting, we didn't get rid of it. Like, we're not saying you got to take somebody's stuff, but you don't have to knock them out, right? Adjust
Depending on where you at.
No. We're talking about work though. But adjust it, right? So you kept that little code where, you know what I mean, you're gonna stand your ground, you're gonna be a victim, you're gonna set healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? And that comes with something. Standing for something comes with something.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Standing up for your family, it's a cost.
Right.
But as a man, that's a cost you're willing to pay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're saying that, but you don't want to be picking fights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Defending yourself professionally and going around being a bully is two different things.
Boy, two totally different things.
We're saying, I'm saying be yourself, but I'm just not saying just be reckless.
I'm saying be yourself, but understand that you should be able to evolve and grow and be more efficient being yourself.
Yeah. Like,
you don't want to be the same. It's like me saying I'm going to be the same Mike that I was at 20 years old now.
Being yourself is not that, because you still like.
Some people think it is though.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And that's the thing.
It's like a person you say stuck in high school. They're still stuck in their high school
we're
days.
explaining
like
that. So the Mike at 20 and the Mike at 50, 35, it's gonna be the same Mike. It's still Mike, but it's different. It's growth, right?
Instead of a plain cheeseburger, now it's got some fixings on it.
Mike was a caterpillar when he was 20, right? Yeah. Now he was a pupa or in a cocoon when he was 30.
Right.
35, he was a butterfly, right? That's still Mike. He's still the same person. He still has the values, but his skills have grown. Right. He's become more proficient. He's still the same person. That's what I mean. You know, grow, but still stay. You know, you can still stay you.
Right, I understand that.
You know what I mean? You know, butterflies, you know, every season they wings change colors, but wings are still the same shape.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just a different color. So that's why you can be yourself and still grow. Sometimes it seems like an oxymoron, things that don't go together. Well, how's it the same if he grows? You know what I mean?
You have to grow. Nothing stays the same if you want to evolve.
Yes. But you're still you.
Man, I understand that I'm still me, but I'm me with improvements, though.
Yes, exactly. You know
that's what
I mean?
I'm saying.
Now, I'm not,
but some people think they're me. They don't have to improve on anything. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Be careful. Don't have that mindset.
Yeah, he grow like this is a perfect example. He grow. His hair might change color. He's still a man and he's still black.
Right.
But why if he changed, why he's still black? He's the same color. Right. He's still 6'5", but he changed a whole lot. But he's still the same because he's still black and he's still a man.
But I'm saying, and like I say, your mindset should have some evolution and growth to it.
Yes.
And some people's mindset, they say their mindset is fine. That's what I'm saying. It don't change. They like, I'm good where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I had to learn how to do that myself. Like, I had to change some stuff up here, redo some stuff, modify some code up here. You know what I'm saying? In order to get to where I'm at now, in order to get back to the point where I need to go to school, like realize I need to go to school and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So.
But you makes you. Right?
Yes,
I'm saying still stay you because like
I understand
you got skills, right?
Right.
That's unique to Mike. Don't give those up. You know what I
definitely,
mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because to be like, someone else, you know what I mean? To be the corporate cookie cutter, you take your unique skills, add that to your new skills, and become something new.
Exactly.
But that's still you. You know
some people have the skills and they don't add to it. They just keep those minimal skills they have. They feel like that's what they need.
Or that,
that's what I'm saying. Don't be in that mindset. Always look to add to your skill set. Try to be that Swiss Army knife utility kind of person. You can't lose by adding more skills. You can't lose. The more skills you have, the more valuable you can become.
Yeah, and keep your unique flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just add a couple of scoops of the Sunday, but you still have that flavor that makes you you. You know what I mean? You just evolved it.
Right. And with that being said, we finna get ready to sign out this thing. Man, well, hour 30. Wow. Yeah, so we figure ready to sign out. Thanks for watching episode 29. Comment. Let us know what you think.
Like, subscribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to hear your voice.
Yeah,
Let us know what you working with, what you're dealing with, how subjects we need to talk about. Ask us questions.
Definitely. Yeah, we having fun with this thing. Almost about to get ready to get this implant stuff done. And when I get that done, we finna ramp up, man. Go to another level, man.
Yeah.
Just trying to get all these appointments out the way, get all this time, clear up some more time. So, but yeah, we finna sign out, man. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we signing out.